Welcome back to Spittin Sports Podcast. After extended break, we are back, and no special guests today, just the three of us.
We're going to start off with something that's hot right now in the World Juniors and our power rankings.
All right, Murph, you start us off here.
Okay, so number 10, I got Latvia.
Latvia.
Okay, let's
Latvia.
pronounce certain countries right here now. Latvia.
Okay, I think we can
Latvia.
just name off the first three or four pretty quickly. Don't even need a reason
Okay,
why.
9, I got Norway. 8, Switzerland. And 7, I got Germany.
Yeah.
And then,
I think all four of us should have four of them.
Yeah, that's exactly my order.
Alrighty.
Alright, number 6, I got Finland. I mean, obviously, 4-3 loss to Germany. I think that knocks them down in my rankings. I think before the World Juniors, I would have had them as top 5 at least, but I don't know. Loss to Germany there puts them down a bit. I'm on number 5. I have Slovakia. Obviously, they're playing very good right now. I just think when it comes to playoffs, that's gonna stop and slow down. Number 4, I got Czechia. Just took USA to a shootout. They lost, but played a very good game. So, no. I got Sweden. They're actually currently beating Canada 2-0 right now, going into the third. So they're looking like they can do some damage. Number 2, I got Canada, but obviously losing to Sweden right now, so that's not a good look for the Canadians. And number 1, I think everyone can agree on this, USA. I mean, their team is powerhouse. They got 10 or 11 first-round picks on their team. I
Well,
think they're
Canada got 12.
well, yeah, but USA just
USA coming in was the favorite, picked by all the professionals.
I think I got a lot of the same with Murph. We named after first four. With number 6, I got Slovakia. They are undefeated so far in this tournament, but there's a lot of hype behind their goalie, but you can't just rely on a goalie to keep you in some games. That's why they're 6. 5, Finland, of course, lost to Germany just then. Definitely could be better. 4, I got Czechia. I think they're actually a big dark horse in this tournament, and I think they're a dark horse in a lot of World Juniors games. Tournaments. Sure, they went to overtime in the gold medal game last year with Canada, and I think they could do it again, but I got them number 4. Number 3, I got Canada. I think this is one of the weaker teams of the last couple of years they've had. They're relying on some Macklin Celebrini, and he is 17 years old. And I just don't think you can rely on a 17-year-old in a tournament full of 18 and 19-year-olds. Number 2, I got Sweden. They have a lot of great prospects. Fella back on defense, Axel Sandin Pelika. He's a great defense. They got great goaltending, and I just think they got a lot of great prospects. And number 1, like Murph said, I got the States. They got a lot of great players. Lane Hudson. And many on back on the defense with him, and then they got people like Nathaniel Leonard and great offensive threat as well.
Yeah, USA, they do have a lot of first-round picks. They just got a lot of guys who can just be game changers anytime. Mm-hmm. So for my list, I'm going to skip to number 6, just like because it's the same for all of us. I actually do have Czechia at number 6. I think it's been a recency bias. They just had a good game against the U.S., but they haven't been great. Like, they've just been average against the other teams in their group so far. I think they skate hard. I watched a bit of the game versus U.S., but I just don't have them very high.
I think they definitely could be higher.
At 5, I had Finland. Finland, they're usually one of the big countries in this tournament, but they don't have a whole lot impressing me with their start. At the same time, I think teams have to take them serious because they do have a lot of talent on the roster. At 4, I have Slovakia. People are, like Drew said, people are talking about the goaltending a lot. But
I think Slovakia's too high for you.
I think people are talking about the goaltending a lot, but they're also not talking about how they have 2 of the top 3 leading scorers in the tournament so far.
Okay, but who did they play?
Who have they played so far?
They played Norway, I think, and I think they played Switzerland.
Yeah.
So, come on.
Yeah, but you also got to remember, like, their goaltender was in the tournament last year.
It's all about their goaltender again.
So
you cannot rely on your goaltender to win every single game for you.
In a one elimination game, all it takes is a goaltender to get hot for a win.
True.
But like I'm saying,
you need more than just your goaltender.
You need more than a goaltender.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to get at is yes, they haven't played nobody so far, but they've also been getting production from players
because they're playing these weak teams.
So I guess we'll have to see how they play.
Okay.
They have a big game coming up against the U.S. for top of the group. I'd just like to point out Servac Petrovsky is leading the tournament. He's a 6th-round draft pick to the Minnesota Wild.
Who did they play? They played Norway and
Hey,
played teams like this. If Canada started off with playing Germany and who's another weak one in their division? There's Germany
Latvia.
and Latvia. They'd be all in the top 2. They'll be the top. Like they'll have their players.
Well, they have played Latvia.
You gotta wait. Yeah, but they played Finland and they're now playing Sweden. Whoever plays the weakest teams first is of course gonna have the most amount of points. That's all I'm gonna say.
And we're just gonna have to see how she plays out. So at number 3, I have Sweden. Sweden's a pretty strong team every year, and like we were saying, they're beating Canada right now. There's no reason why they can't do damage in this tournament. At number 2, I have Canada. Some people might have them lower, but Canada, they just like US, a lot of first-round picks, high talent. And at number 1, I have the US just because, I mean, they're just the best team in this tournament on paper. It's just a matter if they can get it done.
Sweden also has the home.
That's a big thing too.
There's a lot of fans from Canada there, but they're just right now in this game. There's all you see is little jerseys jumping up now.
It is a factor, definitely.
All right, well, switching from the World Juniors to the NHL, we're going to give our cup favorites for this year. We'll start with Mike this time.
Cup favorites. I don't even remember who I picked last episode. We did cup favorites earlier on in the year. But my cup favorite as of right now is the New York Rangers moving forward. I think even with adversity, no matter what injuries they've had, they've shown that they can win games, and I think they're just going to build off of the last couple of years where they've come just short, and I think they're going to be a force. My dark horse, technically in the standings, is not really a dark horse, but nobody expect them coming in. I like the Winnipeg Jets to go deep in the playoffs. I think now, obviously, teams are going to start taking them more serious because of their record, but nobody had them really to do much damage at the start of the year, and if they can keep getting Vezina caliber goaltending,
yeah, I think I tend to see that the Jets don't do much in the playoffs.
That's true.
Even
they don't
when
have
they
a
had
track
these
record.
good teams.
Yeah.
But you never know. I'm going to agree with Mike on my favorite to win. I'm going to say the Rangers as well. They have great goaltending, and not only the starting goalie, which is Sturcom, but they also have Quick, that's playing in career year, and he's also a veteran of 1 cups.
He knows what
all their
needs to be
team,
done.
yeah, and their whole they went deep in playoff runs before, not last year, but the year before they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, so they know what it takes to win playoff series.
Yeah.
And teams, if you look at it, it's their first time in the playoffs is they never win. If you win, you've had a couple losses first.
Yeah.
They've lost a couple times now. This is their year to win. My dark horse, because they're actually underperforming so far, is the Tampa Bay Lightning. A lot of people that think that they are not playing well, but if you actually look at the standings, they are 1 point behind the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And they also have one of the best goals in the league with Vasilevsky.
And they've started off slow without Vasilevsky. Now they're getting them back. And Kucherov is playing at a stellar pace right now. 58 points. Leading the league in points, and is the favorite for the Hart Trophy right now.
Just off the reputation, I think nobody wants to play Tampa Bay early in the playoffs.
They know they're a playoff team.
They're a playoff team. They got the same team as what they won with a couple of years ago.
Yeah, no, that's a team. No matter where they finish, if they get into the playoffs, they can do damage.
And you, Murph?
I got my cup favorites now. This might be controversial, but to start the season, obviously they're tied for first.
Don't say Vancouver.
You know I'm gonna have to say Vancouver here. Now they're a Canadian team. We know how that goes when it comes to playoffs and everything. But man, they're buzzing after start before. They're just buzzing. JT Miller, one of the best players in the league. He's top 5 in points. I'm pretty sure. They got Elias Pettersson, a superstar center. He's top 10 in the league. They got Demko,
he's playing at a Vezina rate right now.
Yeah.
Debatably.
If it ended today, he'd be the Vezina winner.
And I think they also have Quinn Hughes, who's debatably maybe second to first best D besides Kevin.
He has fell off in the last month,
Yeah.
but he is easily a top 3, definitely.
I think the Canadian curse could bite them in the bum, but I don't know. I think that's who I got.
Well, I want them to win the cup.
Yeah, same.
Well, I mean,
I'd like
there
to
hasn't
see
been
it.
a Canadian team win the cup since '93.
Mhm.
I really do want them to win the cup. They have not found success recently. And when they had the
Now-
Sedin brothers, they were really good.
Uh-huh.
But lately, they've been not as good. So I do want them to win. And I like the fan base. I really like the team.
The other thing is they don't have the playoff experience. Like some of
That's
these other
one thing.
teams.
And I
Well,
don't.
I don't know.
It's almost like I'm starting to get on the train. But, like, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't really have a reason for it. Because I can't just say recency bias because they've been doing it the whole year.
Yeah.
We're almost halfway through the year now.
Yeah.
Alright.
So they're still doing it. So they definitely do got a chance. I don't know. I got this feeling that they're not going to do it.
Yeah, I would like to see it.
Dark horse.
My dark horse is going to be the LA Kings. Now, I think they have 44 points. They're sitting second in their division. I think
There's nothing wrong with the Kings this year.
Yeah, I think the Kings got a chance. I mean, they got a good goalie in Cam Talbot. He's third in goals against, and like fourth in save average, and then
They're having a lot of people that's having very good breakout years.
I think Kopitar still, for his age,
Still there.
trained very good. I think they have Kevin Piala, obviously, he's a very solid player. I think that where they really struggle is their D. I think that's one of their struggles, but I think they
Well,
got, like Trevor Moore,
they
he's
can-
also very
They
good.
can also pick up a D at the deadline.
So I think they're gonna make the playoffs.
We're
for
also
sure.
we're gonna have at the deadline have probably another one of these because I think deadline moves.
Could change a lot of
Very-
stuff.
But also Vancouver has already made one move of picking up Zadorov,
Yeah.
big defenseman to help him out on the.
Good bottom pairing guy.
So he's
And I think
a
that's
great
how
pickup.
that
He is a
needs
good
defense.
pickup. He's a
They
very
really
good
have
pickup.
been using Corona right now.
Yeah.
I
So
do like the Kings as a dark horse. That's a really good
yeah,
pick.
I agree with most of those picks. But now we're gonna go into the field and off the ice with the NFL, and we have some juicy matchups this week and big playoff contentions. Week 17 is getting down to the crunch.
Yeah.
So the first one we have is the Ravens and the Dolphins. So do you want me to start? Because I haven't started yet. I am a Ravens fan. It's in Maryland, Baltimore, but I'm going to pick the Dolphins. We just came off a big win over the 49ers, and we've been winning against great teams this year, but I think this is the game that gets us. The Dolphins will beat us, and I think they will get the number 1 seed in the AFC after this win. I think their offense is just very powerful, and we've faced a great offense so far, but I think this offense is going to crack us.
Yeah, well, on the flip side, I'm a Dolphins fan, and I'm actually going to go with the Ravens in this game for the simple fact that we've only beat one team over the last basically 2 seasons over 500, and it was last week, but we also have not played good football on the road this season. We're only 4-3.
But the Ravens would also be on the road. By stats, the Ravens would rather be on the road.
Yeah, that's
The
fair.
Ravens are 7-1 on the road.
I just don't have enough confidence in the Dolphins to beat over 500 teams yet. I think if they did happen to win this, if they did happen to win this game, they'd be feeling really good going in the playoffs after beating the Cowboys and the Ravens. But I think I am still going to take
Well,
the Ravens.
this game is basically for the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Well, it's technically the Browns still have a chance as well. But this is most likely for the number 1 seed, even though the Browns do have a chance.
The Joe Flacco is.
That's another thing we
that's
need
been,
to
that's been interesting.
He just went off last night, Thursday Night Football against the Jets. 34-20? Was that the final
Yeah.
score? Or sorry, 37-20. Flacco, they put up like 21 points in the first half. They're just playing great. Or first quarter, maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were the first team with 10 wins in the season while starting 4 quarterbacks in that
Yeah.
same season.
Well, like David, and they lost Nick Chubb this year. They had problems with their cornerbacks, Denzel Ward. He's been out for a while.
Yeah.
They had lots of injuries, but they're still coming through.
Yeah, no, so like we were saying, I'm taking the Ravens. I think it's going to be a really good game.
This is going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, and
They had a great game last year.
yeah, and I even just like put division placement aside, the momentum factor is going to be massive going into the playoffs too. I think it's a big game, one of the biggest of the year, if not the biggest.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I'm going to take the Ravens. Obviously, best record in the league. Lamar Jackson just coming off a huge game. After that game, there was speculation that he will be getting the most valuable player this year. I think Baltimore's going to do it. I don't think the Dolphins have yet to reach the mark where they can beat another 500 team and be the best team in the league, statistics-wise. So I think the Ravens take this game.
All right, the second game we have is Lions-Cowboys.
Yep. I'll start, I guess. I think Lions-Cowboys, obviously another matchup of two really good football teams this year. I think that this is a big game for the Cowboys to win. They've been reeling lately. But at the same time, they do have still a great record. And I think this, is, in terms of momentum, is a massive confidence win for them if they can get it. So I think I am going to go with Cowboys to bounce back this week.
I'm going to go... It's in Dallas, but I'm going to go with the Lions. I got a funny feeling the Lions will steal a game in Dallas this year and this week. I just got a feeling. I don't got a really logical reason why. Goff's going to have a great game, I think. Amon-Ra St. Brown. There's injuries on Dallas' defense. Of course, Trevon Diggs is hurt, and there's just a couple injuries. I'm going to pick Lions.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys. They're 7-0 at home. I think the Lions have been very good this year. But again, Cowboys have the home field advantage. I think it's going to be a close game.
Can we just talk about the struggles that the Dolphins have on the road? They're
Dolphins,
3-5.
Yeah, I mentioned that when I was picking the Ravens. And at the same
No,
time...
the Cowboys, they're 3-5.
Oh, you said the Dolphins.
Oh, I mean Cowboys.
They actually both have not been good on the road, but
Cowboys have
Cowboys-
been struggling on the road.
I mean, they haven't lost a game at home, and you have such a good record, and you
Well,
haven't
another
lost.
thing is right now they're not the number one seed in their division.
Yeah,
So that means they will be on the road for their first playoff game. Now it looks like in Tampa Bay the Bucs. So that should be a win, but still,
yeah,
that's something to be scared about if you're a Cowboys fan.
yeah. No, All right, Murph.
The
What do you got?
final, are you okay? Yeah. Final game we have is Bengals Chiefs.
I think this one's pretty. I don't know. I think this is a bit of an obvious pick here. Obviously, Joe Burrow. I don't think he's playing this week.
No, he's overseas.
The Chiefs are coming off a big loss to the Raiders. Obviously, that was a brutal game, but I still think no Joe Burrow for the Bengals. I think this should be an easy win for the Chiefs here. Hopefully, Kadarius Toney. He's been brutal for the Chiefs this season. Hopefully, he can do something this game, but I don't think the Chiefs take this one.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Murph here. I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well. I don't see them losing 2 in a row, especially to the Bengals. With Jake Browning at quarterback, and that's really got. It's also in Arrowhead, Kansas City, so I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs have been playing good football as of late, even if they've only lost one of their last 2. But I think this is a good win for the Chiefs to get. I don't think the Bengals are a banged up team.
If they win this game, they lock up their division as well.
I think
Securing a home playoff game.
they'll get up for this game. I think that they should win this game against the Bengals. The Bengals are not the Bengals have a good reputation, but they're not the same team this year with all the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And a little question for us: who's going to win the MVP here? There's lots of quarterbacks in the running. I've heard Brock Purdy's name, Lamar Jackson's, Tua's name, Dak's name. Josh Allen's name has been thrown around. Who's going to win? Even Tyreek Hill or CMC.
Yeah.
Who's gonna win?
I do believe if Tyreek Hill played every single game this season, I think he could be like a serious contender.
Also, one thing while talking about Dolphins wide receiver, Jalen Waddle seems to be out against the Ravens this weekend.
Yeah, it's a
I
big
see
loss.
with an ankle injury. So that's definitely helpful for the Ravens.
Yeah, I think even if he is almost ready to go, the Dolphins are just going to sit him out because they need him for the
Playoffs.
games that count.
I think CMC, when Adrian Peterson won the MVP back in
2003?
Yeah, I think it was.
Long
He
time
had
ago.
a worse stat line than what CMC has.
That was the
this year.
last non-quarterback to win the award.
But I think obviously with that, it's usually a quarterback award. So I also wouldn't be surprised to see Lamar Jackson win it after he just had a big week. He's the best odds right now by
Well,
Who cares?
put it like this: he's already the favorite right now. If he wins this game, basically solidifying the Ravens as the best
Maybe
regular
last
season
up.
team this year, I think that he's going to win.
Yeah.
But I think.
Go ahead. You go on.
I think if Tua and the Dolphins do win this game, it definitely sparks up more debate.
This is what I'm going to say. In my opinion, the most deserving for this award would have been Tyreek Hill, but now I think it's Christian McCaffrey of the 49ers. He has 300 more rushing yards than any other running back in the league, and he's going to be over 2,000 all-purpose yards, which is receiving and running.
Yeah.
There's not many running backs to do this. He's having a career year, great player. I think he's the most deserving. Will he get it? I don't think so. I think the winner of the Dolphins-Ravens game will have this MVP. I think if Tua wins, he wins the MVP. I think if Baltimore wins, Lamar wins the MVP.
Yeah.
If you look at the stats, Tua actually has a little bit better stats than Lamar this season. But by the stats, he has more passing yards, a bit less turnovers, and a better QB
But
rating.
you also got to look at who he's playing with as a
But
factor.
but do they take that in as the MVP, or they just take the resumes and stats?
Yeah,
I think they look at a lot of stats. But I do think that Lamar is a bigger game changer
Yeah, definitely.
than Tua. Tua can throw the ball, but you forget about Lamar's legs can change the complexity of a game. Just like shown in the 49ers game last week, he showed that he was an MVP. He showed that he was a game changer. But I do think the winner of this game will have the MVP.
Yeah. And I mean, Tua is also playing without Waddle, who's the second best receiver on the team, so it would be a big statement for him to have a good game at the same time.
Yeah. And record also has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
What quarterback can lead their team to the best record. So whoever gets this number one spot in the AFC, I think, will win
Yeah.
this award. But final thing we have for the NFL, who's going to be our Super Bowl winners?
I'll start us off. I am going with, I think we did this earlier, but again, I don't remember who I picked earlier in the year.
Yeah, we did. You were Eagles Chiefs.
Yeah.
I know those two.
I'm going to pick the San Francisco 49ers to win this Super Bowl. I think they would have won it had Brock Purdy played last year, or at least it would have been. It could have been a game changer. I think Brock Purdy has definitely turned into one of the better quarterbacks. He's got all the tools around him. I think Christian McCaffrey's healthy right now, which is if he's going all cylinders. I like the 49ers.
My pick is going to be the Ravens versus 49ers rematch in the finals or in the Super Bowl, and I'm going to pick the Niners as well. It's hard to beat a team twice, and it'll actually be on the West Coast. This Super Bowl is being hosted in Las Vegas. I'm going to take the Niners as well.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I'm thinking Ravens versus Niners. I mean, Niners have probably the best roster in the NFL, and I don't know. I think Brock Purdy's definitely solidified himself as a superstar this year. So I think
One thing I want to say
gonna win.
is if this Bills team gets in, you better watch out for this Bills team.
Yeah.
They've won like 5 games in a row now. Josh Allen's turning around. He's playing statistically the past 5-6 weeks of the season. He's the best quarterback in the last couple of recent weeks. I think they're getting hot at the right time, and I think they could be dangerous in this playoffs. There's only 4 games.
Yeah. As a Dolphins fan, I don't want to mess with them early in the playoffs, to be honest with you. But yeah, I agree with that. The Bills are a scary team going into the playoffs.
All it takes is what team gets hot at the right time, and this because you win 1 game, you're moving on.
Yeah.
It's not a series; it's 1 game. Who can win 4 games? That's all it is.
Yeah.
So that's all we got for the NFL. But we're gonna jump over to the hardwood of the NBA and just talk about a funny stat. The Detroit Pistons have broken the record for most consecutive games losing. They have lost 28. Broke the record. Who held the record?
I wouldn't even be able to tell you.
Do you know? It was 27 games. I can't remember what team it was.
I think it was the Wizards.
It could have been, or the Kings. I can't remember. But one question I got for you guys is, when will this losing streak end?
I got 2 games. I think it's gonna end. I think it's either gonna end January 10th when we play the Spurs. Spurs are 5-26, 5-25 right now, or I think it will definitely end by the game against the Wizards, which is January 15th,
Yeah.
5 days after.
There's a couple games here on the schedule that they could break it. Like, of course, they play the Raptors tomorrow.
I wouldn't be surprised if
I wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors lost the Pistons. We're all Raptors fans.
the Jazz, they play the Jazz.
I don't. If the Raptors beat them, I think they'll get if the Raptors get past the Pistons. I do see the Spurs being a good game to watch, but I think it's going to end on January 15th against the Washington Wizards, which would mark a 36-game losing streak. That's my opinion.
I'm going to go a little sooner. I think on January 1st, the Pistons and Rockets. I think the Pistons take it against the Rockets.
They do have a couple weak games coming
Yeah.
up, so they definitely could do it soon.
But at the same time, after the Raptors and Pistons, they play the Jazz, Warriors, and Nuggets, and
Yeah.
they're all pretty good teams.
They get into a little bit of a hard spurt, but then it gets real easy. So
Yeah.
Yes,
I do think it'll be broken relatively soon.
I mean, they almost beat the Celtics. They were really close. They
They're
were
getting
overtime.
better and better. Like Cade Cunningham,
Well, he's
under all the spotlight of how bad their team is, Cade Cunningham's averaging
They've
like
also
33 a game
they've
the
had
last
the-
like 6 or 7
Yeah.
games.
they've had their best center injured almost the whole season in Jalen Durham. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think that's all we got for this episode.
Yeah.
So that's all we have, and we'll be back to posting weekly videos hopefully in the time come. So
happy New Year.
see you later, and Happy New Year.